So, Joyce, what is a simplicity coach?
When I say simplicity coach, a lot of people immediately go to, oh, are you an organizer?
Hmm.
And I love to say, stop organizing and start simplifying because simplicity, it's not just in our material things, it's in the way we think, it's in our schedules. Really encompasses our entire life.
Hmm.
And living in Orange County, people are so busy, overcommitted. They don't have time to do the things that they value and that are important to them. And seeing this again and again on my massage table with so many people stressed out, overwhelmed, living these chaotic lives, and it's showing up in their bodies,
Yeah.
I decided about 10 years ago to get certified in coaching. And my niche became a simplicity coach
Mhm.
because of my passion with just in my own life, seeing the benefits of simplifying.
Wow. Wow. So, do your massage clients become your clients for your simplicity coaching?
Many of them do.
Okay.
Many of them do. Not all of them.
Okay.
Um, Not everybody has a growth mindset to where they want to examine their thoughts and their life. They would rather just coast along and deal with life as it comes to them. Being certified in mental fitness, it's really taking command of your thoughts.
Mhm.
And God tells us to take our thoughts captive.
Yes.
So it's teaching people how to shift from their left brain, where a lot of their negative thoughts reside,
Hmm.
which is all based in fear, to the right side of the brain, which is all based in love, where our empathy and creative and compassionate curiosity side lies.
Hmm.
So, really helping people to not be reactionary to their
Okay.
thoughts, but to take command of their thoughts and choose their thoughts that really support their life.
Okay. Okay. So, when you're dealing with um, people, some people more oriented towards the right side of their brain, some people are more oriented to the left side of their brain. Do you have any, approaches, different types of approaches in terms of, how you talk to them and how you relate to them and how you coach them? I suppose it presents different types of challenges for them, depending on what side of the brain they're oriented with.
Well, everybody without choosing is wired to live in their left side of their brain, which is where your sabotaging thoughts are that you needed for survival as a child, but then you bring them into your adulthood. And that's where you'll see like the pleaser, the controller, the victim, the restless, the stickler, the hypervigilant, all of these types of sabotaging thoughts that
Mm.
we then bring into our adulthood. So, what I actually do is I teach people how to create new neural pathways in the right side of their brain
Mhm.
so they can shift more and live more in that right side of their brain. We have both. We
Okay.
all have both,
Yes.
but we are all usually very heavy in that left side.
Okay. Okay. So, the r- how do you get people to create new neural pathways, in the right side of their brain?
Yeah. So they've shown in MRIs when you do these physical focuses,
Mhm.
taking deep breaths, noticing your chest rise and lower with each breath,
Mhm.
noticing the furthest sound you hear and the closest sound you hear. Um, they're called PQ reps through positive intelligence that I'm certified with. And they've shown in MRIs that by doing these physical focuses,
Mhm.
that those create the new neural pathways in your brain.
Okay.
With that being said, I like to tell my clients it's truly amazing, our brain. God created this amazing brain
Mhm.
that we can create new neural pathways in our brain by doing physical focuses. Like, that just blows me away that
Mhm.
that's even possible.
Yes,
But
yes.
I love what Jesus says when he says, I transform you into my image, and this is a work of mine, lest anyone should boast. So we all do what we can do to live our best lives, but that's not where it ends.
Right.
When you receive the Holy Spirit to live and dwell within you, he then takes a lifetime of sanctification to transform you into his likeness, which is more love, more peace,
Yes.
more kindness, more patience, more joy, all of the fruit of the Spirit that we receive when we receive God's Spirit.
Right, right, right. Wonderful, wonderful. Does it take, any particular length of time for, those pathways to, you know, get established in your brain?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Um, Everybody's different, of
Okay.
course. Every brain is different. And brain health is a totally different topic we can talk about I follow Dr. Amen and a lot of his ideas on supporting brain health,
Mhm.
but it's different for each person.
Mhm.
And it's mental fitness is what it is.
Yeah.
So just like you go to the gym and you build some muscle
Mhm.
and you stop going for a few weeks, you notice those muscles start to get a little soft.
Yeah.
So it's a continuous thing. It's not another program where it's like, oh, that was really interesting information. I'm teaching people how to create mental fitness for life.
Mhm.
And the longer you do it, the stronger the results are. This is a really quick story. I had a client go through, and her husband were out getting a bite to eat, and they get up to the counter, and she's like, oh, I don't know which pastry I want. I'm not sure what I want here. She asks the server, what do you suggest? What do you like? What are your favorites?" And her husband's standing behind her. "Come on, can you just make a decision? Hurry up." And there's a line behind them. Normally, that would have set her off and she would have been really frustrated and
Mhm.
she would have walked away. She would have been mad. Instead, because of going through positive intelligence, she turned with curiosity
Mhm.
and said, is it bothering you that I'm taking so long? And he said, yeah, you're embarrassing me. So then that initiated another conversation like, why was that embarrassing to you? And where did that come from? And, and she stayed in calm emotion.
Mhm.
So if you find yourself in negative emotion, it's not healthy or good for you for more than just a few seconds for awareness.
Yeah.
There's something going on here I need to deal with. There's something bothering me. There's something upsetting me. I'm angry about something. But
Mhm.
then shift over to a response of curiosity or empathy or calm action, whatever you need to take, which is on the right side of the brain. So that's what's beneficial to you. You don't want to leave your hand on the hot stove.
Right.
You feel the heat, and what's your response? You immediately take it off. And
Mhm.
it's the same thing with mental fitness. You're aware of something,
Mhm.
but then you shift.
Mhm.
And that shifting becomes a lot easier the stronger your mental fitness is. Does
Yes,
that
yes.
make sense?
It does, it does. So, is it true that, our brain, our body stores, emotions in, all throughout our body, in our muscles and wherever, our organs, wherever. Is that
Yeah, I mean, I believe that to be true.
true?
I've seen it with massage, what people hold in their bodies. You see a lot of tight shoulders and necks when people are under stress.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
hold that, they tighten up. You also can see people having gut issues with
yes.
emotion.
Mhm.
Um, So that is something I work with my clients on to say, how can we do the physical focus, the PQ reps on that emotion in your body,
Mhm,
and even just putting your hands on that, sending love to that and acceptance to that area.
mhm,
And, praying over that area. That's also sending love and acceptance and healing over that area. Um, I pray over every client I massage, and that's the energy work that I do, the divine energy.
mhm.
And it makes a difference. It
Yeah.
makes a difference. So, there's also trauma. There's a lot of trauma that's held in the body.
Mhm.
I'm not a trauma coach.
Okay.
So, I do have a coach who is a trauma coach, and I refer trauma people to that coach or to a therapist who's, certified and educated in that, but that is not my specialty.
Okay. Okay. I remember getting a massage years ago, and my back, I used to be really like the therapist says. Well, he asked me, "Are you a bodybuilder?" And I said, "No." He says your back is so hard. I've had family members tell me the same thing. And this is going back many years ago. And it was more stressed. I mean, I did work out back then, but it was more, I think, stress related than me working out.
Right.
And so, um, and the therapist was telling me that, um, you know, a lot of times, just working on the body can actually remove toxins, I believe, from the body. Is that
Mhm.
correct? Do I have that correct?
Yep, that's absolutely. I always make sure my clients drink a lot of water after their massages to flush things out. Um, but being a massage therapist for 30 years, I obviously believe in massage
Mhm,
and love doing massage and see the benefits of massage.
mhm.
Um, but a lot of our stress is created in our mind,
Yeah.
our anxiety of what might happen, which most of the time never happens, our
Mhm,
thoughts that we can control things,
mhm.
showing up as the controller saboteur. And, there's very little in life that we truly can control.
True.
So you have a circumstance
Mhm,
which is neutral,
mm,
and you have a thought about that circumstance. And
yeah,
from that thought, you have feelings that come from that thought.
yeah.
And then from those feelings, we have actions we take or don't take. And
Mhm.
then we have the results.
Yes.
So if we want to change our feelings, our stress, we have to go back to our thought and change our thought.
Yes, yes.
So that's why you can see two people who have the exact same circumstance, and one is relaxed, going out to dinner, taking care of what needs to be taken care of,
Mhm.
and the other one is home curled up on the couch, stressed out and freaking out,
Yeah,
and it's the same exact circumstance.
right.
So, what is the thought, and how can I shift? And that goes back to brain health again.
Yeah.
And how can I shift to the right brain and take my calm action
Mhm,
that's needed,
mhm,
or think outside of the box, or become curious,
mhm.
or how can I look for the gift in this circumstance?
Yeah.
God says all things work together for good to those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. And
Yes.
we can always, in what we perceive as bad, find a gift or an opportunity in that if we look for it.
Right, that's right. Um, how much does exercise do you prescribe exercising to your patients? How much does that play into their well-being?
Well, I have no patience.
I'm
I
sorry.
have
Well,
clients, but I
sorry.
and, I what I prescribe, or I don't know if even prescribe is the word I would use, but, um, what I would, um, what I would suggest
Mhm. Mhm.
is stretching.
Mhm.
I think more people have problems with pulled muscles and even releasing the toxins and stress out of their body um, from not stretching enough.
Okay.
So, yoga is great.
Mhm.
Any type of movement that stretches the body because people get so tight. I
Mhm.
actually massaged a guy who pulled a muscle from putting his socks on.
Wow.
So, our muscles get very tight if they're not stretched out, and
Yeah.
people can get injuries. I also massage a cyclist,
Mhm.
and, he's got a lot of that forward movement with his, neck and his back, and, um, you know, stretch, stretch, stretch.
Mhm.
That's what I always say.
Mhm.
So
What about drinking water? How does that help in that area?
well, I mean, our bodies are made up of water, and we need to stay hydrated in every way.
Mhm.
Um, Helps the brain, it helps everything. I mean, I have water here right now I'm trying to drink, so,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I discovered, it's not how many glasses of water you pour or how big your Yeti is you take with you, it's actually how much do you consume out of that, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who always have a glass of water or their Yeti, but it's always full too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
all your organs, your system,
Mhm.
everything, you need to have water. You need to
Mhm.
keep things moving and flushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. Okay. So, what's the difference between a simplicity coach and a mental fitness coach?
well, they are two different things.
Mhm.
A simplicity coach, I'm really, and let me just say, simplicity is my niche. I
Mhm.
help people on all kinds of things. I help with relationships, I help with work issues, I help with worthiness. I coach on all kinds of things, but just for my sake of marketing and branding, I chose simplicity because it's a passion of mine.
Okay.
If we don't take time to simplify our lives and we're overcommitted,
Mhm.
then we don't have time to live out our purpose. We don't have time to help other people. We don't even have time to notice other people.
Mhm.
I was out with my sister the other day celebrating celebrating her birthday,
Mhm.
and we were driving by into this consignment shop, and there was a man lying on the sidewalk, and his head's just laying on the sidewalk, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, I hope that guy's okay." So we come in, we park, and we're like, "Maybe we need to call 911." So we walk over to check out and see what's going on, and my sister was talking to somebody who was on the phone thinking that he was maybe already calling,
Mhm.
and I walked up to him and I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Would you like a water?" And he said, "Sure." So I gave him a water. And then I noticed he had a sweatshirt lying on this basket thing he had with him.
Mhm.
And I said, "Would you like me to put your sweatshirt under your head for you?" And he said, "That would be great." So I took it and I rolled it up like a pillow and I put it under his head. And I said, "You're sure you're okay?" And he said, "Yes." So we left. The point of me telling you that story is if we were in a hurry,
Mhm.
I might not have even seen this man lying there. I
Right.
would have been just focused on where we were rushing to.
Yeah.
And if we have a quick appointment and we
Mhm.
have to be somewhere,
Mm.
how many people will stop to help somebody else?
Yeah.
If
Right.
you're rushing off and you have no margin in your life
Right. Right.
and you get a phone call with some friend who has a tragedy,
Mhm.
are you going to take 15 or 20 minutes and sit and talk with them
Right.
when they're in need? Or are you going to say, "I'm going to call you back"?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's so valuable and so important that we leave margin in our lives for the opportunity. I call
Mhm.
it an opportunity because it's a blessing to us to help other people. The opportunity to see the need around us and to help other people.
Yes.
So, simplifying our schedules is one, simplifying our material things. So, our material possessions are supposed to support our lives. We're
Mm.
not supposed to be supporting our material things and caring for them so much. And
That's right, that's right.
oh, I need another tub to put my stuff in. I need more labels to label all my tubs. Oh, I need a storage unit to store all my things in.
Mhm.
And how much do you really love and value those things if they're sitting in a box somewhere
Yeah,
and you're not even using them or enjoying them?
yeah.
Let somebody else use them and enjoy them who need them.
Right.
So life runs a lot smoother. The less we have, the easier it is to maintain. It doesn't suck our time up. We're not cleaning the garage one more time when we could be out with our family at the beach.
Right.
We're we have more time to do the things that are really valuable to us when we simplify our material possessions. You're getting ready a lot faster in the
Mhm,
morning if you're
mhm,
not going through an overpacked closet saying you have nothing to wear because you don't even know what's in there.
mhm.
So
Yeah.
there's a million scenarios of I know where to find something when I need it
Mhm.
and I have what I need, not like, do we really need 7 pairs of scissors in our house? Really?
Right, right, right. Well, I wanna tell you the story that you reminded me of the story. Um, Years ago when I was coming home from work, I was traveling I was traveling maybe 60 miles, and we had, uh we were living in 2 places, actually. So, I mean, like, I was in high school, and I was staying with my grandmother, um, to go to school in one place, and we were living in another place close to where our church was. And so I was coming home driving from near where my I worked near where my grandma lived, and I was driving home at night on a back road with no lights,
Oh, wow.
and I had a blowout. My tire blew out. This was before cell phones, and a woman with her 3 kids in the car was behind me and saw the blowout.
Mhm.
And so she stopped and she said, "I saw what happened. Do you need a ride?" And so she gave me a ride right up to my doorstep where she was heading in that direction anyway. And so,
Wow.
I just thought that was really amazing, perfect stranger, did not, she fortunately she saw, and that was a God thing that she was there because I was miles from home. I was
Wow.
and it was black. Everything was black at night, and so that was a God thing.
That's awesome. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
You know, doesn't take much for people to just be a little kind
yeah,
and give a little bit of their time
yeah.
can make all the difference for another human being.
Yes, yes. Amen. That's true. Very true. Okay, so um you write a Substack on your Substack. You have some posts that I was reading, and I want to highlight because I thought they were really good here. You have one called Food Connects. Okay, it says, and this is everybody, this hi Mandy and the caregiver Compass joined the Substack. Welcome. Uh,
Hello.
I this post that you wrote, Joyce, is called Food Connects, and it says, since I was a young child, watching my mother cook, to cooking for my family with 3 daughters and a husband, to now being an empty nester and cooking for two, food has always been part of my memories. Being of Swedish heritage, first generation on your father's side and second generation on your mother's side, there were some Swedish foods your mother made that left a lasting impression and in your heart and your taste buds. One of those foods was rice pudding. I got a story about rice pudding. The plump raisins were mixed in the warm pudding, and then when the vanilla was mixed in there was a warm, heavenly, delicious aroma that filled the room. To top it off, cinnamon and sugar was sprinkled on top, melting onto the bowl of goodness. It was usually made for Christmas Eve smorgasbord. I'm wondering what was in that smorgasbord. Um, there was always an almond put in, and whoever got the almond was the lucky one to get their Christmas wish. It was served with a little milk and some tart lignan berries. You have to tell us what lignan berries are. Um, I I know, but I looked it up. uh, I still remember my mother standing in the kitchen in her starched white apron, stirring the pudding and adding a little more milk to keep it from burning on the bottom. She was always singing while she cooked. My grandmom sang while she cooked. When I grew up, that was one of the many foods I continued to make to keep up our family tradition. Your daughters knew that Christmas and Easter, they would get the treat of mom's rice pudding with lignan berries. It is the one treat you look forward to on Christmas morning, a bowl of cold rice pudding. Now that your daughters are grown with their own families, they have carried on the Christmas Eve smorgasbord tradition, and there is always homemade rice pudding with the same scent of vanilla and cinnamon taking you back to being a little girl waiting patiently for your special treat. Something as simple as rice pudding brings the warm, familiar scent of Christmas, love, family, tradition, childhood singing, and joyful connection. Take it away.
Wow, I didn't know you were gonna read the whole thing, Kevin.
That was I just really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, food, but also scents
hmm
bring back that memory of there's, like, certain scents, like, I know even, this is kind of a weird thing, but even Windex, my mom used Windex on a lot of things,
hmm
and just the smell of Windex or spray starch, she
Yes. Yes.
starched
Yes.
and ironed, pillowcases,
Yeah.
like, she starched and ironed everything.
Yeah.
Um, so some of those scents from when you were little, when we went on our honeymoon, I've been married now, 37 years,
Oh, great.
and when we went on our honeymoon in Puerto Vallarta,
hmm
um, somebody had given us a basket of like a peach candle, peach bubble bath, peach air, everything was peach. So here we are out in this very humid, hot Puerto Vallarta, and you'd walk in the hotel room and it was like a burst of fresh peach.
hmm
And it was so amazing. Every time I smell peach, I
hmm
think of our honeymoon.
Okay.
So, my rice pudding was really it's the vanilla, it's the cinnamon, it's all the memories of baking with my mom and the holidays. It just brings back those beautiful memories,
Yes.
and, we had, another cooking experience where 2 of my daughters went to San Gimignano in Italy,
hmm
separately with their
hmm
husbands and took a cooking class.
Okay.
And then my husband and I went, and we
hmm
took the same cooking class from, the Montes, cooking school with Motto. That was his name, really good.
Oh, okay.
He
hmm
he had a newborn baby on a little pack in front while he was teaching us. It was really precious.
Wow. Okay.
But, We
Great.
did the bolognese, we did the homemade pasta, we did the whole thing there, a lot of different things, focaccia bread, everything.
Mhm.
So that following Christmas, my one daughter lives, two daughters live in Denver, but that one daughter lives in Denver. My other daughter lives near us in
Mhm.
California.
Mhm.
We all went to my daughter Nina's house
Mhm.
and we recreated the meal. So she bought the pasta maker. We made our homemade pasta. We had teams. We made the dessert. We made the bolognese. We did the whole thing and recreated the dinner. So it was a connection.
Yeah.
It was a memory.
Mhm.
And, I think coming together and sharing food
Mhm.
together, whatever that might be as a family,
Yeah.
creates memories
Yes.
and it's special. Break bread together.
Yes, yes, that's true because when I was reading your article here, it took me back to my grandmom's, cooking. I mean, it was, gingerbread,
Oh, yeah.
sweet potato pie,
Ooh.
pumpkin pie, and homemade biscuits, macaroni and cheese. I mean, thank you. Oh, you were gonna tell us, lignan berries. What are lignan berries?
Lingonberries.
Lingonberry.
It's a little small tart berry.
Okay, okay.
So, yeah,
So,
it's a small tart berry.
I think we think is it a cranberry? Is it
It's not a cranberry. I make cranberry bread too. Those are larger berries. If
okay.
you think of a wild strawberry and how tiny those are,
Mhm.
that's really the size of a lingonberry.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
I th
And you can buy them if you have World Markets by you. You can get them at World Market.
okay, okay. I mentioned lingonberries because I thought it was a cranberry. But in any case, my grandma used to, make cranberries. Thanksgiving, this stuff was going on during Thanksgiving, and you know, it just kind of took me there. I am aware that smells are real. There's a direct connection to the brain that only that is. I think the smell is the only sense that has a direct, immediate connection to the brain that causes memory retention. And
Yeah, yeah. I do a lot with essential oils. I use them with all my massages, which is the blood of the plant.
yes,
So those are the most synergistically compatible with our blood,
yeah,
and there are certain oils that can pass the blood-brain barrier.
yeah,
But the essential oils can trigger different things. Like
yes,
orange is very cheering and uplifting, lavender is sedative and calming, peppermint is energizing and great for headaches.
mm-hmm,
Um, Frankincense is great for cell rejuvenation,
mm,
and other things. That's like the king of the oils is the frankincense.
yeah,
But each oil has a different property, and breathing them in through your olfactory system, they
yeah,
go into your bloodstream and take effect. So, putting them directly on the body, breathing them in is
hmm,
another way. And then a lot of them you can take internally too.
yes, and they can actually get into your cells and clean out your cells. The molecules are so small that they can actually clean out your cells. And I love essential oils. I'm a big fan of essential oils.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
I diffuse them in the house. I
yeah,
love, in the, like, Thanksgiving time, I love to do the warm oils like the clove and the orange and cinnamon and kind of that,
yes,
those scents.
yes, yes. Me too. I love that scent. Of cinnamon and all that. Um, okay, you write poetry.
I have been writing poetry since I was probably 6 years old and could scribble.
Wow, wow, that's great. That's great. Did you? Okay, so do you have any poems you want to share?
Well, I grabbed one, I can share. My poems, a lot of them are about nature. A lot
Mhm,
of them are about Jesus. A
mhm,
lot of them, most of them are about, I think, nature or experiences. I usually am inspired. I don't just sit down and write a poem. It usually comes and they're scribbled on the back of napkins and any scrap of paper I can find. And now that we all have cell phones and notes, a lot of times I'll put them into my notes.
mhm,
But I really enjoy the art of writing,
mhm,
so I like to write. I
mhm,
like to write them out
mhm,
and then I'll, type them up after. But
mhm.
this poem is called In the Quiet of the Morning.
Okay, okay. Oh,
In the quiet of the morning, in the presence of my Lord, on the cross he was hung while his blameless blood poured. Over all my transgressions, over all my selfish ways, over sins that I've committed in my past and future days. In the quiet of the morning, he was laid within the tomb. My tears were flowing freely, my heart an open wound.
mhm,
They had taken my dear Jesus, a man who loved all those he'd known, beaten, spit upon his body, undeserving what was shown.
mm,
Death was conquered 3 days later when the stone was rolled away.
mm,
My Lord could not be found upon that Easter day. He is risen. He's alive. I have seen his glorious face. Then he ascended into heaven and took his holy place on the right side of the Father until he comes again. I received a comforter, his spirit, and my friend. My tears have turned to joy, my sorrows are no more. In the quiet of the morning, in the presence of my Lord.
wow. Yeah, that is great. That is love that. Love that. That's beautiful. Ah, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. What else? What else you have on your mind? You have anything else on your mind?
Ah, what else do I have on my mind? Well, I always have something on my mind. I have I'm leaving for Denver in the morning
Mhm,
for my granddaughter's 3-year-old birthday, Remy.
mhm.
And I have 3 grown daughters and I have 5 grandchildren,
Oh,
and 2 of them have their first babies that are 7 months, and my other daughter has the 10-month-old Ellie, and then Nina has Easton, and Tiffany has Remy, who's turning 3, and then a 15-year-old almost, November 7th, and a 12-year-old
mhm.
boy,
Okay.
Bennett. So I have these 5 grandkids, and it is such a joy for me
Mhm,
to be at a place where, we can spend time with them and see all the new cute things they do, like Ellie's just learning to put her hands up for me to
mhm,
pick her up and to give kisses, so that is super exciting,
mhm,
um, just to be a part of their lives, and I was thinking about, traveling because I love traveling.
mhm,
My husband and I are at a place where we can, take off and do some traveling. We went to Italy recently, and then we went,
mhm.
and relaxed from our trip to Italy.
Wow,
So,
wow.
um, but I feel like, we're not promised tomorrow.
Right.
We don't know what tomorrow brings, so I'm a firm believer, if there's something you really want to do, do it today.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, I mean, anybody can walk out and get hit by a bus tomorrow. You just don't know.
Yeah.
You know, be grateful for what you have.
Mhm,
Be grateful for your health. Be grateful for your family. If you don't have a relationship you're at peace with, reach out and do your part. You can never regret doing your part for the relationship. You can't change other people,
mhm.
but you can show up as your best
Yeah,
and you can show up as the person you want to be.
yeah.
And We all have a lot to be grateful for, no matter what our struggles are, and God doesn't say we're not gonna face hardships and trials in life, but He does promise to walk through those trials with us, to give us the peace and the joy in knowing Him and knowing that He hems us in. He goes before us and He prepares our way. He walks next to us and He guides us, and He goes behind us and He protects us. And for me, that is the peace and joy that keeps me grounded every day in my life, no matter what comes my way, that there's somebody who's looking out and has the bigger picture and the bigger plan for me. In Psalms, it talks about that God has a very specific purpose
Yes, yes.
for you, for your life, with your unique gifts
Mm,
and your characteristics
mm,
and um, all of your unique, beautiful ways that you have, that only you have,
mm.
that God created you to bring that and use those gifts to bless other people and to bring Him glory in doing that. So for me, I feel like if I can coach my clients how to show up in this life and to live their best life
Mm.
by bringing their unique, beautiful self into the world, then I am filled with so much gratitude and joy in walking their journey with them and being part of that.
Yes, yes. If the whole world really knew how much God really loves us individually, you know, the world would be a different place. And like you said, the triangle, the closer we get to God, the closer we get to one another. And, if we can, love God first and love each other like we love ourselves, you know, the world would be a better place. I bet.
I agree, Kevin, and, recognizing that we're all imperfect people, it's hard enough to be a human being in
Yeah.
this world. Can we just not have a little more empathy and compassion and love for one another, for what we know they're going through and what we don't know they're going through. And
Yes.
most of the times, we don't know what they're going through,
Correct.
So can we just be a little more loving and compassionate and kind in general for other people? That it's not easy for a multitude of reasons. We all have our own stuff.
Yes. Amen.
So,
Amen. Amen. Wow. So this has been a great interview, Joyce. I thank you for coming on, and
my pleasure.
I'm really happy that we had this conversation. Um,
Super fun. I loved having, the time to talk and,
yeah,
just get together and share, and
yeah,
this was great. I really appreciate you.
yes. Well, thank you, and I appreciate you and everybody. Joyce, what is the name of your Substack?
That's a good question. Joyce Simpson.
Is that yeah? Simplicity
Joyce,
coach, mental fitness coach, writer, poet, Jesus follower. Follow Joyce on Substack, everybody. And I want to welcome all who came in and thank you all for showing up today. Um, God bless, and we'll see you next time.
thank you, everybody, whoever's here. Thank you, and look forward to connecting on Substack. Thank
Yeah,
you, Kevin.
thank you. All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye.